Okay. And I'm very pleased to have a very healthy Nick Riggio joining us right now. And Nick, January 27th, the day that you had your heart attack, take us back, tell us what it was like.
It was kind of something that you always hear about, but never think that it's going to happen to you. I was prepping for a doctor's visit that morning, and as I was in the shower, I felt this tightening in my chest, which felt odd, but not odd enough. So when I got out of the shower, it started getting tighter and tighter. And I called my wife downstairs. I said, Marianne, there's something happening. You need to get up here. And I laid down on the bed. And she came up here, and she's a CNA, so she has some nursing experience. And she said, we need to call 911, which she did. Luckily, a neighbor of ours is a paramedic. He must have heard the radio calls when the ambulance was coming, so he scooted on over to our house. He met the first paramedic to arrive, and then shortly after that, the ambulance arrived. They carried me down into the ambulance. At this time, I just had this terrible chest pain, so that's as far as it was.
And then they told you they gave you a choice of where you could go.
Yes, he said we have two choices. He said we could either take you locally to the local hospital and be stabilized, and then we can take you either to Portland or Lewiston to the heart facilities there. And I said, well, what would you recommend? I've never had this happen to me before. And he said, we would recommend CMMC because they have an excellent cardiac section there.
So then take us to when they get you there. What was it? What can you remember happening?
Being scooted through the front doors up to the counter where we entered, met immediately, and Dr. Phillips was there with his staff. They had a room prepped. And he wheeled me directly in. There was no waiting whatsoever, very little talk and everything else. He got me on the table. Do you want to?
Yeah.
And
start over if you would. They got me on the table.
I was on the table in this room here, and he said he was going to put a catheter into my femoral artery, and I said, Doctor, I'm still awake. You don't want to do that now? And he says, no, you won't feel a thing. And I didn't. He was right. He set up two television screens right above my head so that we could both see them, and he put this catheter in, and then he injected a dye, and you could see where the dye stopped moving, just a couple little spidery lines coming out where it was heavy at first and almost down to nothing. Through the catheter, he must have drawn out this clot, whatever it was that was stopping my blood flow, and as soon as he popped it out, it looked like the 4th of July to me. Everything just popped wide open, and the blood was pumping everywhere that it should have been, and which I found amazing, and I could see it right on the screen as it was happening. And I was talking to the doctor too. It was just like we're talking right now. And then he told me he was going to insert a stent. He did the stent, and we were in and out in almost no time at all. I don't think we spent more than 25 minutes at the most in that room before I was in my bed at the hospital.
So you have a heart attack, and literally within an hour, they have this clot taken out of you, a stent in, and you're recovering.
Yes, immediately. Just isn't that amazing?
Wow. Describe for me, if you would, a little bit about the people who were at CMMC, just the whole process there. You told me before you didn't even know there was a hospital there.
No, when I talked to the ambulance driver, we talked about Lewiston. I said I didn't realize there was a hospital there. But when we got there, by the staff there, from the doctors, the nurses, the cleaning staff, the kitchen staff, we interacted with every one of them, and it's just it was just such a good feeling. There was nothing too tough for them to do, or it didn't annoy them. Anything you needed done, it was done gladly. It was just a nice feeling. When before I was being discharged, they sent a dietitian in to talk about how we should take care of ourselves. Another expert came in on heart and explained to me exactly how the heart works and what had happened in my instance and what they did to make everything work. It was just a feeling like we were talking about earlier. It wasn't just a get in, get them out, and rush the next person in. It was everything, follow through. I just felt so comfortable being there, and happy when I left because I felt great.
They educated you.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
Anything that, not everybody gets a chance to kind of say something on behalf of the people who saved their lives. Is there anything that you'd like to say on their behalf?
Well, Dr. Phillips in particular, he was my cardiologist. What a wonderful man. I've seen him a couple of times since that instance, and he's so focused, but he still has time to listen to my concerns and to answer completely the questions I give him. And his nurse, as a matter of fact, a wonderful lady. She took us in. It's like I've known her for a long time, but I hadn't met her before that particular time. But just a comfortable, very comfortable atmosphere.
Not an overstatement to say they saved your life.
Not at all. I would not have made it had I just decided to lay in bed or not do anything about it. I don't think I would be here talking to you right now.
Excellent. Anything more?